It was uproariously funny to me. I immediately thought of you and what you would think. But to me, it was uproariously funny to see A-Rod over 50 years old on the pivot, still trying to be something other than what he was, and say that he was from the hood in Kendall. And I was just curious what your reaction was to hearing A-Rod say that he grew up in the hood, as if he grew up in a barrio and not in a place that went to private school because he was an excellent baseball player. Like, what is he doing there?
I'd say maybe a bit of revisionist history on that. Look, I'm not a Kendall historian, I'll tell you that right now. This isn't like me with my ice cats. But I did see people saying that Kendall has been cleaned up significantly from what it used to be. But I don't know present day many people that would refer to Kendall as we have A-Rod's sound if you want to hear it straight from A-Rod's mouth.
Let's play this sound, but people do need to understand, because we're going to get Tony and Lewis and Billy in here to explain to people what Kendall is and why it was laugh out loud funny as a word to hear A-Rod say the hood and then Kendall. He could have gotten away with it, Billy, if he had just not said Kendall. The Kendall is the comedic perfection in it.
He could have gotten away with it if no one from this area heard it, because no one on the podcast knew what he was saying was ridiculous.
Okay, I don't know why he needed to add the detail of Kendall, because then we were all like, wait a minute, that is not the barrio. Like, that is not the hood. What are you talking about? I've been to A-Rod's home that he grew up in with his mother.
Wow.
And it is not the hood.
Really?
You never felt like you were in the hood when you visited that home?
You didn't feel
ever? Not for a second?
Is it possible? Danger? No.
In a neighborhood that now has like
croquetas y cafecito.
Yeah. Wow, it sounds delightful.
It was not a danger. Kendall is not a dangerous neighborhood.
I would imagine that house, if I were to look it up today, is probably worth like $750,000 without looking at it, just based on the fact that it's in Kendall.
Seems like every house is, though. I mean,
Dan, the thing about Kendall's in the 80s, it was pretty intense, but the funny part was that he went to Columbus and then went to Westminster, which are both schools you need tuition for here in South Florida.
He was not broke. Like, he's only broke when you compare the house that he grew up in to his $252 million contract. He's lived so long as an incredibly wealthy person that, of course, he looks back at Kendall.
But Lewis is right, Dan. If you get an invoice every month, a monthly invoice to pay for school, you're not living in the hood.
He said Westminster's one of the best schools. It's a baseball academy.
Can't we cut him some slack? He's trying to sound cool. He's hanging out with the boys. Like, come on, he just said it.
Relatively speaking, compared to $252 million, maybe he thinks that that's what the hood is. I can't even.
He's trying to shape his story. He's trying to make himself seem like he's a rags to riches story. He's trying to establish his bona fides on a podcast. He's trying to be as I forget who said it. One of the guys.
He was wearing a suit, which is very A-Rod. I got to imagine there aren't a whole lot of people going into that one. That's a more casual. It's supposed to be a relaxed conversation.
You can't go suit there. That's a bigger mistake to me than the Kendall.
I'd wear a suit.
The biggest thing here is that if you're from Miami and you need to lie about living in the hood, there's so many better cities. There are so many better cities.
Top 5 cities to say? What do we got? I don't know. I wouldn't know how to play this.
Give me 3 minutes.
Okay.
You're going to have a top 5 cities better than Kendall?
Well, say if you're trying for street cred.
Right.
Street
cred.
Okay, good.
Give me 3 minutes.
Exciting. All right, 3 minutes.
What do you mean 3 minutes?
3
Everyone
minutes.
else here just pulls a top 5 list out of their
At number
sock.
5.
Okay.
Lewis,
Wow.
give you 3 minutes for what? To find it?
He's ready.
To find the top.
He said he's ready.
I have
Just gotta write them down.
To go through your files.
It was a cushion,
Newspaper.
Dan, just
You
in
scared
case
the
he
crap
needed
out of
it.
me?
Yeah.
Now I've got
No,
it.
what do you mean 3 minutes? We all have our top 5.
he's got it.
He literally just pooped himself over here.
Also, just
at all
asterisk,
times.
Just an asterisk. Lewis is from Doral, so just.
What this is like, let's play the sound.
Disrespectful.
Let's play the sound of A-Rod, and it would have been funnier, I suppose, if he had said the hood Doral. But Kendall is the detail that was not needed here.
Let me bring you back a little bit to right here when I grew up right here in the hood. I grew up in a neighborhood called Kendall. It was probably like 99% Latinos, Cuban, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Colombian.
The pause there. He's like, the hood was
He knew
Kendall.
exactly what he was saying. He was like, God, if anyone in Miami hears this, they're going to think I'm a moron.
Grew up in the hood, Gables by the sea.
It's just unbelievable that he's still out here unspooling lies. He's Stugotz.
As someone who grew up on the mean streets of Pembroke Pines, I can
Christ
sympathize with Alex Rodriguez's rags to riches story.
You guys yelled at me the other day because I grew up a mile from the stadium. You guys made fun of me because of County Line Road between Miramar and Miami Gardens.
Which is where I grew up, Miami Gardens, the Opelika area.
County Line Road was the line of separation.
I saw Rick Ross. Did you see this clip of Jesus and Mero that Cortez put up? Because Cortez used to work on that show, and they were like, yo, Cortez is from Miami, and Rick Ross is like, yo, Miami in the house. What block you represent? He's like, Kendall. And then Rick Ross started laughing.
Well, Mero asked, is that the hood? And then Rick Ross started laughing.
Was this deeply hurtful to Cortez, who has developed a wild obsession with Rick Ross's Instagram stories? He bought a fire truck the other day. Rick Ross did, not Cortez.
It sounded like Cortez was kind of saying it, ironically. Like he knew that. I don't know, though. I would have to ask him.
Cortez is weird.
He's also from Tampa.
Thank you for clarifying.
He's also from Tampa.
Wow, that's true.
Play the sound again so that people can hear it again, where it is that he stopped with his story and just throws in the totally unnecessary sentence. He could have gotten away. We would have let you get away with Hood, A-Rod. It's when you name dropped it that you made it perfect as a funny thing.
You know, let me bring you back a little bit to right here when I grew up right here in the hood. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood called Kendall. It was probably like 99% Latinos, Cuban, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Colombian.
It is courtesy of the pivot. Billy, why has your head fallen into your hand?
Does he just think that like where minorities live is the hood? Because he threw that like 99% Hispanic. It's like, that doesn't make it the hood.
People from the hood don't say they were raised in the hood. Anyways, top 5 cities.
Wow, exciting.
What has happened
These
here,
are
though?
street cred cities in Miami, right?
I
We're doing
have
a top 5.
Has A-Rod gotten so far away from his Hispanic roots in so many rooms where he's wearing a suit that he shouldn't? And while he was being recruited by Boston and the Yankees, I will tell you that I think it was the people from Boston who were going to meet him late at night in his hotel room and thought it was weird that he answered the door at 1 a.m. or whatever in a full suit. Yeah. Because
Love this guy.
such a weirdo.
Your guy.
It's a meeting.
Feels like his head just pops off his body and goes from one suit to another.
Put that on the poll.
he is still out here trying to concoct whatever the story is of, hey, he was a great baseball player, the best we've ever had in South Florida. Like all the other junk and trying to be Michael Jordan and be, what Jeter ended up
I don't
being.
think this is him trying to create some narrative. I think this is him just not knowing how to be cool. Yeah, he's just trying to sound cool in this moment. Like, I don't think this is like some master plan of I want people. I think it's just he's just awkward and trying to sound cool, and those don't mix.
No, I think it's all calculated with A-Rod. Like, I think
he planned. I'm gonna say Kendall is the hood. I think he just got caught up in the air. He's like, I don't think it's that
accept the
deep.
invitation to the pivot to show a different side of you, and so he went into the interview knowing that he was going to show a different side to him. And if he was asked these sorts of questions, that he would like, I really do think he thinks about this stuff in a different level. He's trying to shape the story of his life. He's trying to, I agree with you, do other things like be relatable, but is doing so by telling his story perhaps in a different way and perhaps an incorrect one.
I also think that it is possible that he has reached such a level of celebrity beyond like the place of sports that he may have gotten so far away from Kendall that he does think 99% Hispanic is terrifying.
There's houses with one bathroom? Like, what?
What, now it feels like the hood to him?
Yes, right now,
Right.
yes. No, it's not just
because of the life he lives.
But it's not just now. It's that he's in boardrooms all the time that aren't probably 99% Hispanic
He
anymore.
had a community pool. Ugh.
There's no bidet? What is this?
All right, Lewis's top 5 cities. Top 5 cities
Hold on, I
in
gotta write these
Miami
down.
that
Hold
would
on.
have been
Street
better.
cred cities in Miami.
That would have
I can't
been
wait to
better
hear this.
than the one that Alex
Is
Rodriguez.
Lewis qualified to give this list?
I'm gonna give you my list, and then you tell me, brother. Number 5,
He hit you with a brother. 5.
Alapata. Number 4, Carroll City. Number 3, Opelika. Number 2, Goulds. And number 1, Liberty City.
Yeah.
Was such an easy one to
Yes, yes.
Billy, do you approve?
This isn't for me.
It's
to
a
decide.
different list. It's a different list.
I'm
Billy,
good with it.
thank you for the cosign, Roy.
needed
It was
Roy. We
helpful
needed
that
someone, yeah.
Lewis
My
headed
heart's
in-
beating.
Lewis headed into the breach for some reason. He decided that's why he needed the 3 minutes, evidently. Billy, your top 5, though, because he really did do a different list than the one Billy is doing, which is, or I thought Billy was doing, which is Hispanic cities that he could have gone to.
Have that too, Dan.
If he had said, if he had said Baguio, or if he had said like Hialeah, you have that one too. All right.
Number
let's-
5,
Number 5.
Wow.
Sweetwater.
Number 4.
Lejeune 8th, whatever
Yes.
that area is called.
Number 3.
Westchester.
Yeah.
Number 2, Doral.
Wait, what?
Guys, it's Venezuela, guys.
Yeah.
Might as well
Venezuela is
say
in Doral.
Hialeah.
The entire,
Street cred?
the entire country of Venezuela is in
No,
Doral.
he's
That's
right.
true.
He's right. It's just on a golf course.
There's more
Correct.
Venezuelans in
Yeah,
Doral
it's-
than in
yeah,
Venezuela.
He's
yeah.
not wrong here. Number 1.
Hialeah.
Yeah, of course. And Hialeah, this is a tough question. Which one is more representative of what it is that we were talking about as the number 1? Liberty City on behalf of the hood, or Hialeah on behalf of El Barrio? Like, which one is more more obviously?
You're asking Roy,
I'm
right?
number 1. I was
I
asking
mean,
you.
Liberty City
I
has
got
the
this
pork
one.
and beans. So
Yes.
I got this one.
Billy has arrived at the stage of overanalysis of a cultural American societal issue where he is willing to say, with firm punctuation, enough with Will Smith.
Enough. Chris did this earlier in the week where he said no more of the Coach L jokes. Enough of the Will Smith jokes. We get it. Not original. No more Will Smith and Chris Rock jokes. It's done. We had a week. That's it. Also, what is this whole I'm resigning from the academy thing? Because what does that mean exactly? So I started Googling, what does it mean to resign from the academy? And that's it. He just can't vote for the Academy Awards, but he can still win one. He can still go. All he can't do is vote for who wins. Neither can I.
Is he thinking if he self-punishes, that'll make
That's
my overall
100
punishment
yes,
less?
Yes, that's
How do
like,
you play?
let me give myself bow, and then they won't do anything to me later on because
Yep.
he's suffered enough. He can't vote for the Oscars anymore, please. And I'm sure, by the way, he'll just reinstate himself at some point in time, or he'll apply for reinstation, whatever it is. He'll do something, and that he'll be voting again by like 2024. What year is it? By 2024, he'll be voting again.
The Academy.
Get over yourselves with that name, too.
The Academy of Motion Pictures.
Yeah.
What a
It
great
is
name.
so highfalutin, the whole thing. The Academy, his apology has been so profuse and so over the top. There are members of the Academy who have done worse things. Harvey Weinstein still having does he still have a vote?
I think they changed the rules after him. I could be wrong, but I thought I read that the academy changed rules. It's not an academy until like after you're done, you can fly a plane. That's it. Don't call yourself an academy unless
Right.
a pilot's coming out of it.
Exactly right. It's a great point. There's no way Harvey Weinstein still has a vote. It can't be. It cannot be, Dan. It's
Voting from
impossible.
prison?
How about Woody Allen?
Huh.
There are people in the Academy. If you guys want to get me a list of
What is this game show you've created?
It's a weird game.
More
I was just
people
saying
are
no
worse
more-
than Will Smith.
No more Will Smith jokes, and now we're like,
Well, Billy's done in general with award shows. He was asking before what the age is that one arrives at when one doesn't have any interest anymore in the award shows.
yeah. What is the age? I think
Same
I
age as
briefly-
WrestleMania.
What?
Same age you're done with WrestleMania.
11, 12, 13, whatever.
Oh,
it is.
come on.
So you were really
Wait.
into the Oscars at 10?
Yeah, but stopped at 11.
And stopped at 11.
That's right.
The Academy revoked the membership of one Harvey Weinstein. So I guess that means he doesn't have
Why'd
a
you
vote.
put him as one?
I don't
Harvey
know why I
Weinstein?
did that. It's a weird thing I've been doing lately.
I actually enjoyed the Grammys this past weekend.
Did you?
Because I went into it lately. The Grammys, it's a lot of makes me feel old. I don't know these performers. There were some good performances. I liked it. There, I said it.
And I think as well, you and I, Chris, in the last year during the pandemic, we got into TikTok.
Maybe that
And
helps.
So, like, we know modern music a bit more than
Yeah.
we did before. I feel like once I stopped listening to FM radio, my connection to music completely died. To new music
Maybe
died.
it is TikTok. Actually, I didn't really.
Yeah.
So the
consider
Grammys
that.
just became the TikTok Awards?
Yeah,
Well, it's just a lot of
Yeah.
the most popular songs of the year are popular on TikTok, so I've heard them. So there were a few performances where I'm like, I'm explaining to my wife, I'm like, oh yeah, I know this song, and it's
Right.
you're right.
You
Actually,
make yourself seem cooler, right?
yeah. Look at me, TikTok.
When Doja Cat won, did you were like, I know
yeah,
that song.
yeah, I
Doja
did
Cat.
actually.
Is Doja Cat the one that was peeing?
Yeah, she was.
It was a
Yeah.
pretend pee, right? She
Chris,
didn't
No,
yeah,
it was a
Chris
real
thinks
pee, I
it was a
think.
fake. Well, Chris thinks that it was a pretend
Oh,
pee.
please.
That it was planned.
I mean, it seemed like she was going to use that. It seemed like good material she had, and I don't know. I'm a little skeptical there.
But also, why would you be late to the stage for one of the crowning achievements of your career?
Are we talking about it right now?
Yes.
Good point.
But we also might have anyway, even
Rest
if
my
she
case.
hadn't peed.
But do they not have like a program to follow? Like, how is it that if I were to go to like my little cousin's like Christmas show, I know exactly what songs are coming on in what order, and like this is going to be when 4th grade is performing, and this is when 5th grade is performing.
Yeah,
like,
but your cousin's not winning and then gonna
but that's
beat
what
out
I'm
other
saying. Like,
kids.
how is it that they don't know that
They do.
their award
They have
is
like
coming up?
rehearsals for these things.
But do you not think that like you run off to the bathroom during a commercial break and you think I can make it, but the commercial break's only like 3.5 minutes, and then you're like you're scrambling back to your seat when the award
It's
is
a pretty
given.
big moment. In
You're
your
wearing an
life.
elaborate dress,
You
you know, it's
hold
tough
it,
to
yeah.
take off to try and do stuff. Then you have to come back, and then your counterparts with crutches, and she crutched to the stage, giving you extra time. Like, it's tough.
Stugotz probably isn't getting a whole lot of new music.
No, I'm not. I'm still listening to the Grateful Dead.
I think that's is there. Do you listen to anything else?
Not really.
Huh.
I mean,
You don't
Chris
think- you don't-
Russo. That's about it.
Sports Talk Radio and the Grateful Dead, but TikTok. This is a new phenomenon. The
I love
musical-
TikTok.
The Grammy was won. What?
I love TikTok. I signed up. I have a username. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't know how to use it, but I like the videos that are coming my
That
way.
would expose
Yeah.
you to new music.
Billy said, I think this was Billy who said this, that there has never been an older episode done on anything in the Le Batard and Friends universe than you and Golick having TikTok explained to you by
It was wonderful.
by
I enjoyed
Jessica.
it so much. Jessica was full on cafecito, just like letting it rip on all the things that she knows about TikTok. How we're gonna make money, and then well, you'll make money, then you'll pay for my wedding, and then it was just a furnace blast of energy.
Money. She was speaking my language.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
So now you've found the way for Stugotz to be interested in TikTok, but the musical, the Grammy was won in musical by, this is the first time this has happened, a TikTok creation. This is not something that could win these awards that Billy doesn't care about anymore, but TikTok is just changing all music, changing FM, changing what it is that you're going to get in the way of new music. Because, and Mike Ryan spoke about this one day when we were talking about how Spotify and the on-demand has changed listening habits so much that what is getting consumed the most is older music, that old music is swallowing new music because all of it is on demand. But the idea that TikTok has made all of this now, the music industry, a democracy where you can make your own fame without the need for record companies, where all musicians, it becomes a meritocracy where the internet decides. The internet will decide what is popular music, not artists, not studios. The internet decides.
I mean, that's kind of always been the case, and now, like, what the music company's role is to figure out ways for songs to go viral on social media and become one of the sounds that get oft used over and over again by people doing various trends with a song. It was that Fleetwood Mac song for a while. You know, Earth, Wind, and Fire music has been super popular, but how do you get new things like Stay by Justin Bieber and who's the other guy?
Fleetwood Mac. You're talking about the cranberry juice commercial?
Exactly.
It's not even a commercial. It was just a dude on a skateboard, or it was just a vibe.
It was a vibe, Dan.
What do you need to get the viral vibe? That's the thing that makes music
now you're
right
getting
now.
It. Yep.
Right.
He was drinking some juice that like
It was
had a
cranberry,
spike
yeah.
in sales. Wild.
Yeah, the ocean spray. But like, I mean, you know, Spotify's,
Overrated,
you know, new releases, algorithms is how people get music and all that stuff. But without really like the gathering place that the FM radio top 40 station used to be, where the music industry and the radio stations were telling you, this is what's popular. It would be Ryan Seacrest after Casey Kasem's American Top 40. Like, they would tell you what was popular. Now that doesn't really exist anymore as a gathering place, or MTV's TRL or whatever.
And radio deciding what to play for you.
And I don't want them to tell me what to play. I want to find something on my own, something that I connect with. And I think that was really cool when John Baptiste came up and was like, music is for connection. The music finds you at your point. And that's what we created. So I thought it was a breath of fresh air for him to say that.
That performance was great, by the way.
He was great, and then he won the Grammy for best. I think it was best album of the year, and it was like he was completely floored. He had no idea.
There is something great about, you know, the radio just randomly playing the song that you do want to hear. That feels good. It's an underrated feeling. I'm telling you. Yeah.
It's dying.
But worst feeling, they play the song that you want to hear, but it's at the end.
But this is the modern version of that. TikTok is scrolling through a radio channel at this point.
Essentially,
It's
yeah.
like, that's
I mean,
what
they
it's
have a
become.
Sirius XM radio channel. But like, to your point though, Tony, like, music is an experience, but it used to be a gathering experience. Now everyone has their own experience with music. The monoculture of music doesn't really exist anymore because Spotify's algorithms are catering music specific to you. Yeah, I mean, you can still gather and you can still talk about music with your friends, but like Stugotz, you and I used to have to rely on the same 15 FM radio stations to provide music. We could speak on a similar language. Now, with the way that it has exploded on tech platforms, there isn't really a central place where we're talking about music and music is in one place.
Let me be clear. You and I are never speaking a similar language.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, I don't know what the hell you're saying right now.
I have my regrets on not doing this earlier this week and funniest thing for the sports weekend. Did you guys see what happened at the Grammys? So Mexican legend Vicente Fernandez,
Rest in peace, by the way.
yeah, won a Grammy, and they did not tell the presenter who was presenting him the Grammy that he had passed away.
Oh, no.
So he announced Vicente Fernandez wins the Grammy,
No.
and then there's
That's
just
quite
kind
the
of
waiting game.
No, there's just kind of like an awkward like moment. He's holding the Grammy. He goes, I guess he's not here either.
Oh, man.
And he died 4 months ago.
That's a fine.
yeah.
El Rey.
Is it a fine to not know that someone is dead?
Someone has to let the presenter know, like, hey, by the way, just in case, like, this person's not with us.
We had a sloppy show on Monday where a whole lot of things got forgotten, and I suspect that I should probably bring it forth now. Many of you have probably forgotten, but I'm sure Chris Whittingham has not. We were supposed to get to a top 5 list of Chris Whittingham things that he is dying to announce. Like, Cody, you make a good bugle entry guy. Like you do when you do King Roy, you do the very
Jester.
Well, no, not
The
a jester.
introduction of it.
No, not a jester. You're the ornate sort of soldier who signals for formality by saying, hear ye, we are all gathered, and then you introduce the king. You do that well, and you do it royally. But Whittingham had put together a top 5 list of things he's just dying to announce to a large gathering of people. Whittingham,
I would say lend my voice to is the phrase that I'd go with, but a lot of these are announcements.
But does it necessitate a group of people that you're announcing it to that will gasp or enjoy it? Do you need a crowd of a large gathering of people so that it booms, so it's sonic, so it's bigger as an experience than just announcing something into a microphone in a janitor's closet?
I'm looking at my list here, and 3 of the 5 are announcing it to a crowd, and 2 of the 5 are broadcasting.
All right.
An audience is required.
Okay,
In
but
some form.
you're making a distinction between a live crowd and just a broadcast that is viewed by millions, correct?
Yes.
It needs you need a lot of people to be moved by the sound of your voice.
There's one that's not necessarily that moving or will be heard by that many people, but I love it.
But you just want to do it. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it then. Let's start
can't
with
wait.
number 5.
Number 5, Pausing 10 seconds for station identification.
The saddest one.
It's a great one. I love
So
that.
sad.
It's so bad.
He's so good at
I
it.
feel like he forced it in. It cannot be in your top 5. It's ridiculous.
You want to be the person that says "let's pause," or you want to be the person whose voice comes out identifying
no,
the station?
I love broadcasting. Just like the X's, not the X's and O's, but just like the nuts and bolts broadcasting, just things you have to do. And when you're doing a radio play-by-play broadcast at the top of every hour, you gotta pause 10 seconds for all the stations on the network to identify
On
themselves.
the way back in, you let that sound sit,
Yeah,
the crowd a little
crowd
bit, a
comes
few
back
seconds,
in,
and then you
few
start
seconds,
talking
and
again.
you're
You're
away.
a pro.
Mad Dog had a great one the other day where he ended his segment saying 8 until the hour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People who are on daily talk radio love giving the time.
But it's like you're doing math to figure out what time it is at that point.
Right,
in
it's
time.
52, you know?
It's a bit of a riddle. It's a mystery.
That's how Doggy does it,
You
Dan.
don't know if it's 1 o'clock or 5 o'clock. It's just he's just blowing a plume of radio smoke in your face.
Can I hear you do this? You're number 5. Can I hear you do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Score right now is Miami Dolphins 21, Buffalo Bills 17. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification across the Miami Dolphins radio network.
That's so good.
Dolphins are winning. That's
21-17. 13-12 to go in the fourth quarter.
Oh, please.
Dolphins have 21 points.
I want to completely marinate in the idea that if Whittingham, I told you right now, that your legacy would be that your voice would be the taped one used in every broadcast instead of the broadcaster himself, that your lasting legacy on earth will be, now let's, the Whittingham pause will be something that is known throughout broadcasting. Would you trade the rest of what remains of your glorious broadcasting career in exchange for that being the mountaintop?
I want to see where I'm at, but if in 5 years' time it's not going well, totally fine with that being my legacy.
The Whittingham pause.
Ugh.
Number 4.
Number 4, I'm Chris Whittingham on 60 Minutes.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Billy still makes a face every time 60 Minutes comes on. Billy, did you see that Saturday Night Live this weekend stole your idea of the 90-minute movie? The 90-minute movie.
It's true, man. It's a good movie. I saw that video and I was going to retweet it. I was like, nah. But it's good. I mean,
Why don't you want to retweet it?
I don't know. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. I took Stugotz's advice and I watched Top Gun.
Yeah?
That was my first movie suggestion that I watched. Yeah.
And?
It took me 3 days, but I watched it. Not
No, it
bad.
doesn't seem that short.
No, it is short, but like you'll understand one day.
He's
You
got a
can't,
baby.
Yeah, you can't watch. You don't have
Right.
like 90 minutes to 100 minutes straight. You
It
got to
doesn't
break it
exist
up
anymore.
Yeah,
No one warned you about that,
No,
right, Billy?
you just got to break it up over a series of. Chris Cody knows. He
Billy,
knows.
no one warned you in the having of a kid that you would never again have 90 uninterrupted minutes to watch.
Doesn't
the movie.
happen. Yeah. I also saw Death on the Nile.
Ooh,
Right?
that one's exciting.
Yep.
Yeah, that one also.
It's in my
took,
queue.
Yeah, 4 days.
4 days.
But yeah.
But what is your verdict on Top
16,
Gun?
17 more years, Bill.
It's in Stugotz's top 5 of all-time movies.
it's good enough, I would say. So like.
To be in my top 5.
No, it's good. Look, no, but look, it's good enough to watch now, but it was made like 30 years ago at this point, if not 40 years ago. So like that's an endorsement. It's good enough to still watch now.
This weekend, I saw a movie that was only 10 years old, and I'm flipping through the channels, and it's Cowboys versus Aliens. And I'm like, how did this get made? It's got like Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig. I'm like, how did this movie get made? It's
Who's in that?
it's
He
at
just said
least-
it, Steve
it's-
Martin
Yeah, I
also.
just said it. Yeah.
It's at least Harrison Ford. I didn't watch very much of it, and Daniel Craig, but it had some star power. And I'm saying it to you, and you guys are just learning of it. It seems like I just want you to imagine the script or the conceit. So Harrison Ford is a cowboy, and he's going after the aliens.
So it's Cowboys versus Aliens, not Cowboys and Aliens.
No, it's called Cowboys and Aliens.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I saw on like Paramount Plus or something.
Thought I had him there.
They had a movie called Airplane versus Volcano.
Oh my God, what happened?
I didn't watch it because I don't want to think about volcanoes the next time I'm on an airplane.
Well, the volcano's got to win the airplane versus the volcano.
Does it?
no?
Just in case and just get out.
What did you think of Top Gun? Just not terrible. It's worthy of. Stugotz has been raving about
Well,
this
hold
for
on.
years.
Because Billy said it's still good now. Not great, but still good now. Imagine watching that in like 86 when it came out.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you had watched
Ahead of
it
its
back
time.
then, it would
Yes.
have been revolutionary, I would think. And now it's okay. You could still watch it now.
By the way, the budget for Cowboys versus Aliens, $163 million.
You guys haven't even heard of it, right?
No, I've heard of it.
yeah,
I've heard of it, but I've never I don't know what it's about.
wins?
It didn't grab my interest.
Not versus, it's end.
Number 3.
Number 3, the nominees are.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Actually, I like them better when they announce the nominees, like the nomination special that Chris, Tony, and I watched at Adam McKay's house, because they read out all the names of all of the people behind the movie. So it's not just Best
Pick that name
Picture,
up. Yeah.
Don't Look Up. It's Don't Look Up from Adam McKay and name his writing partner. I want to read out all the names of all the people who are participating.
You could voice the SUEYs if you want.
I'm more than happy to.
That felt
Not on
like
the list,
it felt
though.
like a bit of a name drop. The at Adam McKay's house.
I mean, we were
It's
there.
It
only
was
on the
early, too. It
list.
was at 5 a.m.
It's
yeah,
only
so-
for that's on that list, I think.
Number 2.
Fun day.
Madam Speaker, the President of the United States.
I want to do that.
Even if it's Trump.
Well, that would be quite the trade-off.
Number 1, the thing that Chris Whittingham most wants to announce to a cavernous gathering of applause is
The following contest is scheduled
Coward.
for one fall.
Coward, Dan. Coward. He didn't have that written down. There's something else
Coward.
written down. Tell him to read it.
Strip club announcer Diamond on stage 5.
I didn't do this list to end it with that, okay?
You have to go for the joke.
No, I want to do the following contest is scheduled for one fall.
You should have. I mean, come on.
Stugotz.
Would have been really funny had you done that. Look
Are
how
you-
serious you are about a list.
He's
This
got
has integrity.
He's got
Integrity. He wants to be
the
the wrestling announcer.
Exactly. We're an over-the-top jacket for WrestleMania. I imagine the people who are working WrestleMania have a lot of work to do to one-up each other with the jacket that they're wearing.
Billy, speaking of too much, we began this with too much Will Smith jokes, too much award shows. You're done. Do you realize what age you were when you quit the award show? Because you have ceased being what you have gone very quickly. Your child has made you shoot like a rocket into
Yeah.
adulthood.
No, but it's actually a great excuse because I was done with award shows maybe 6-7 years ago, where I was just I just kind of realized I mean I'm a party pooper now, but I was just so it's just a bunch of people. It's just a bunch of people just handing themselves prizes, and they decide who wins the prize. I've never heard of half of these movies, half of these songs, but I'm gonna watch them just celebrate themselves. And for 4 hours, nah, I'm good.
I believe that there has been an award given out at an award show for the production of another award show. And I do believe Hollywood is very self-congratulatory. And one of the amazing things about everything that happened with that stupid Will Smith thing is that it initially got a standing ovation from those people. And it initially got a Richard Williams was a fierce defender of his family. That's Will Smith telling you him slapping Chris Rock is the same as Richard Williams dragging his daughters through Compton.
I think it just goes to show that humanity is not prepared for the level of surprise that could eventually arrive at their doorstep. Everyone there was so stunned that they had no idea what to do. It's okay, we'll just give him a standing ovation.
But the
Something different happened.
But the stuff that has happened since then, where everyone's laughing at the Academy, everyone's laughing, and now it's Will Smith has to just over apologize. And I understand his shame, the fact that he was dancing with his Oscar statue at the Vanity Fair party without realizing what he had just done to a sacred women's moment and black moment. What he had just done to it without any realization. I understand why his shame is so over the top. I just wish so many people weren't noticing that it's because he wants to get back into the Academy, into the good graces of whatever it is. These people who are looking down their noses at what an appalling thing they did at the Academy. And then we get in our audience. There are just so many tough guys who thought our show sounded like Judd Apatow. that felt from our show because Will Smith didn't do enough. Because when your wife gets disrespected, you have to go up there with a samurai sword and cut Chris Rock in half at the Academy. There are so many people in the audience just yelling and screaming sounded like pearl clutchers. But Billy's just done with all the Will Smith jokes.
You're talking about cowboys and aliens. You think aliens, like if they observed Earth and like could kind of make out what's going on, like they would treat Earth like how I treat award shows, where it's like, I'm good. Like, why are we gonna go down to Earth and try to like take over Earth? Like, it just seems like such a mess. Like, what's even the point? Let's go to another planet or like another galaxy.
They're screwing this up on their own.
Yeah, like we don't need to involve ourselves in what's going on down there. Like, pumpkins. Let's just go home. Let's go somewhere else. We're good.
But also, there's so little going on the other planets. One would presume that this would have to be by far the most entertaining of the planets in this galaxy.
Yeah, but you just watch and laugh. You sit back. I mean, you can take us over whenever you feel like it. We're idiots.
You're thinking of life on other planets as like there's a stream somewhere running through red sand.
Exactly. Well, I mean, a stream, we'd be there if there was a stream. There's no water anywhere to be found, as far as we can tell so far.
Whatever it is that we discover when we send these things to Mars, these sand machines that go to Mars and discover some sort of form of life.
Well, can we live there or not?
That is
I mean, let's get down to brass
wasting
taxes.
money.
I mean,
Exactly.
Jesus.
Mhm.
Wasting money.
Yeah, wasting money.
In the
Things
search
like
of
billions of dollars, they're doing all this stuff
You send
for
it
no
out there.
reason.
Sometimes it lands, sometimes it doesn't.
Comes back
Sometimes it comes
broken,
back,
yeah.
sometimes it doesn't. We lose satellite signal. We're just trying to dig there, like we're making sandcastles.
We play
on
Elvis into the
Mars.
space, like, who
what are we
cares?
doing? I saw a thing today that they tried to send out into the space. All these things to communicate with aliens, where it's like this is a drawing of a man, this is a drawing of a woman, this is what a double helix looks. Enough. What are
Double helix?
What are
Who's
we
drawing
waiting
that?
exactly? And how are they going to understand that?
Stugotz,
Yeah, I feel it. You're staring at me, aren't you?
why are you hiding under your hat?
Brass taxes.
Why did you call them let's get down to brass taxes?
That's the most important thing, and that's what brass taxes is, Dan. It's the most important
He's
thing.
right.
Can we live on Mars or not? Stop sending things up there, kicking around some dirt, and then coming back with nothing. Can I live there when this place implodes, or can I not?
I have a surprise for Stugotz. The expression is not brass tacks, T-A-X. It's brass tacks, T-A-C-K-S.
Is that a fine?
He made it brass taxes.
Good.
Let's get down
It's
to
tax
the
season, Dan.
situation that taxes
Yeah.
financially.
And,
With brass.
when in Rome. I mean, it is tax season. You get yours done. You know, I'm always on time with this.
When in Rome. What did that have to do with anything?
put a
It's
dollar
not
in.
close. Go ahead and put
Have to pay taxes on this?
Put the dollar in here. We did. I'm thankful that we got down to brass taxes.
I have to be honest. That was a TIL moment for me. Today I learned that brass tacks is T-A-C-K-S.
You learned it as I was staring at Stugotz withering.
I also thought it was brass tacks, like
Really?
a tax on brass.
Well, I don't know what getting down to brass tacks is, but I did not think it was brass taxes. So please
Look at us, just a bunch of idiots cutting it up.
just please tell me what brass tacks are, because I've only heard it in the context of this saying. I assume that in carpentry, which I'm not familiar with, 1,000,000 years ago, something at the core of a foundation of architecture is made with brass tacks. That's what I've assumed the expression is.
Yeah, so the exact derivation is unknown. This is courtesy of Grammarist.com. But one is that the expression is inspired by the centrality of actual brass tacks in furniture and upholstery. Not like a tack, like a thumbtack.
Something that holds everything
Nah, I don't
together.
like that. I like brass tacks, T-A-X.
Yeah. Works better.
You like that. You want
Yeah.
you want to petition someone to change it
Yeah.
to let's get down to brass
Could I
taxes.
talk to Grammarly?
You didn't like him reading from derivatives there? I wanted to, you don't like
Whenever I go to read, I just hear behind me, oh God, and I heard Tony say, is Grammarist.com your homepage?
It's the
Opens
way
a
you
web-
say things. He seems so happy to be presenting these things, and it just makes me annoyed. It's like, I have it here. Let me read it. And it's just like, ah.
But I feel so good that he also thought it was tax, TAX, like I do. That makes me feel a lot better.
Dan,
When he
did
said
you
that,
know
I
it
was
was
like,
tax?
Yes, I knew.
Really?
Well, the
Oh, he
reason
corrected me.
the reason that he was
I
hiding.
knew it wasn't taxes. That's one thing we
Dan's
all
a
knew.
carpenter. I mean,
If you listen to the last 15 seconds that we said after, people will rewind this now and go back there, okay? I don't know if you'll hear Stugotz's laughter or not, but he rarely feels shame. And he pulled his baseball cap down to his nose because he could feel the heat of me wanting to get back to brass taxes. And it jumped the show.
He's trying to keep it moving.
The
He's
show
like,
jumped
I was
around in the
praying they'd
room,
keep
and-
talking.
No, he was hoping for Billy to talk until Friday.
But he's right. What he said was right. Can we get to Mars or can we not get to Mars? Can we live there or
Is
not?
there water or not?
Let's get down to brass taxes on this.
But I also think that Chris Whittingham is right when he says that those planets don't have award shows. That perhaps if something came down from one of those planets looking down on us and saying, do I want this planet? Look what happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock. Never mind, I'm leaving. This is not interesting enough to me anymore. I believe that all you'll get in these planets, if we ever live there, is the ability to walk on sand like Matt Damon in that Martian movie. Making baked potatoes
boring
for the
existence for him, right?
It seems hellish. It seems like you'd have to commit suicide if all you can. Just never mind the planet part of it. Just all I can eat is potatoes for 8 months.
Weird food choice.
But it's all I can make. I don't think
Make something
Can
else.
you
How about
fry
that?
them? I mean, French fries or
Make something else.
You want him to throw together a chicken fricassee? Like what?
Just gonna have some eggs Benny on Mars.
He makes something
groceries.
better. He was disgusted by potatoes, and you thought he had the option of throwing together a meatloaf.
Make something else.
throwing together a meatloaf?